Welcome to the AgriMinds podcast. If you're in agriculture and feeling the weight of responsibility, juggling work, family, and everything in between, you are in the right place. I'm your host, Casey Bull, coach, speaker, and founder of AgriMinds. Each week, we'll talk about the real side of leadership, how to think clearly, manage your time, set boundaries, and show up with intention, both at home and in the field. Let's get into today's episode. Hey, welcome back to the AgriMinds podcast. Today, I want to tackle one of the things that I hear people inside of the agriculture industry saying in some way, shape, or form. And it's this. I just feel like everything is important right now. Everything feels like a priority. I am being pulled in a million directions. I cannot get everything done. I feel like there's just not enough time in the day to get everything done that needs to get done. Are any of those things sounding true for you? Yes, this is the episode for you then if you are in the place where you feel like you are putting fire after fire out. You're constantly reacting. You're constantly feeling pulled in a million directions and that everything feels like a priority and you have no idea where to start first. There's a saying that people use when they talk about tackling something, and it's, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Let me just say, I hate that analogy. That's not helpful. It's not helpful. Okay, cool. I'll just get my fork and knife out and start digging in. No, that's not helpful. That's not productive. And that is not efficient. There's got to be a better way. And we're going to talk about that today. I know for me personally, there have been seasons where I would wake up in the morning and before my feet even hit the floor, my brain was already running in a million directions. I was thinking about all the things I had to get done that day. And I can't even tell you how many times I'd be sitting up and then I'd hear my phone vibrating, or the moment I got up to try and get some stuff done before all the kids woke up, that would be the day that the kid would wake up early, right? It's just I feel like I could never get me time. I feel like I could never get the things done that I want to get done because all of these other priorities are trying to grab my time and my attention. There are days where I found myself thinking about work, thinking about the things I forgot to think about yesterday, thinking about what needs to get done today, thinking about the people I've got to check in on, the things I got to follow up on, conversations I got to have for stuff that's coming up over the next couple of days, things at home, things with the kids, things with the business. Everything was screaming at me, pick me, pick me, pick me, pay attention to me. It was I just wanted to scream. Have you ever had one of those days where it's just shut up? I'm so tired of everything coming at me. Maybe I'm the only one. I remember having those days, and I'll be frank with you, they still happen. I am not immune to feeling overwhelmed, but there are certain days, there are certain seasons of life where I think overstimulated could have been the word of the year for me. I remember reaching a point where my brain, I don't think it knew how to tell the difference between what was actually important and what was just noise. And I think a lot of people are there right now too, especially within agriculture, because agriculture it's not really an industry where you can clock out mentally because everything is intertwined, right? Not always. There are definitely jobs where you can shut it off. But I think of one of my friends who has an irrigation pivot and they'll be out in an evening on a date night and then the technology will ping them that one of the pipes bursts or whatever. It's just that stuff is real life. That's important. Or you want to go on vacation, but you're expecting some calves to drop. And it's I get it. This is real life. It's not you can just shut it off. But after enough time of carrying that much pressure that often, it's real life that your nervous system is going to start treating everything like an emergency. When your body is in such a high stress, high adrenaline, high anxiety state for so long, It just thinks that's normal. You have to like purposely get it out of that state of being. And when you get to that point, everything feels really, really heavy. Like a decision will just wipe all the energy out of you. Like having a simple conversation feels stressful. Like you feel like you're maybe in defensive mode or something. Your brain starts jumping like from one thing to the next. And so you're not fully present anywhere. It starts to show up. It starts to affect relationships. Your relationships might get strained. It starts to affect your mental clarity. So then the work that you're producing might not be as quality as it could have been. It does show up. And I think a lot of people have lived this way for a really long time because that's the state that their body is in and they don't know how to get out of it. So now everything does feel like a priority. And so, how do we move out of that? What are some things that we can do to move forward to not feel like we're doing this? Well, the first thing that I would say is try and get your nervous system at a regulated state. And one of the best ways that I have found to do that is through breath work. And you can go back a couple of episodes and listen to Greg Kruger's episode. And he was one of the speakers at the AgriMind Summit. And he did a full breathwork session. I would highly encourage you to go on YouTube, reach out to Greg, and try to find some breathing exercises that can help you regulate your nervous system. And I'll just share one with you real quick that has been a lifesaver for me. And it's called box breathing. Like I said, you can Google this and look it up and get some legitimate training on it. But essentially, box breathing, picture a square. Let's just do a really simple one. On one side of the square, you can go down and then you'll go over and then you go up and then you'll go over. Okay. What you'll essentially do is you'll breathe in for 4 as you're imagining your finger tracing down one side of the square. So you breathe in for 4, hold for 4 as your finger traces the bottom of the square, and exhale for 4 as your finger traces up the other side of the square. And then you'd breathe in for 4, hold for 4. So I would highly encourage you to try something like that. I won't bore you with breath work here on today's episode, but just doing some breath work, spending 2 seconds intentionally breathing to try and calm down before you respond is a big deal. That's something that has helped me. There was this thing like back in school, I don't know if they taught it everywhere, but at my school, like they would teach you to count to 10 if you're feeling like frustrated or mad before you respond to something or say something. So that way you had like 10 seconds to chill out before you emotionally reacted. Kind of the same concept. And so I would encourage you to do that if you're feeling like you're irritated and you're snappy and you just want to bite somebody's head off because you're so overstimulated and you are so overwhelmed. If you're listening to this episode thinking, wow, this is exactly how I've been feeling lately, I want you to know you are not alone. AgriMinds is not about adding one more thing to your already full plate. It's about helping you navigate those pressures, the stress, leadership, and responsibilities that you're already carrying with more clarity, support, and intention. Inside AgriMinds, you'll find practical tools, coaching, leadership development, and a community full of agriculture professionals who truly understand the realities of this life. If you're ready to stop just surviving your days and start leading them with more intention, the link to learn more is in the show notes. Another analogy that I heard explained really well around how to know when to prioritize and what to prioritize is thinking about the glass ball versus rubber ball. So when I heard this, I was like, oh man, this is what a lot of people are struggling with because everything feels like a glass ball. But basically, the idea is this: some things in your life are glass balls. If you drop them, they can crack, chip, shatter, and sometimes you can't put it back together. They are things like your health and your marriage, your kids, your peace of mind, your close relationship with your friends, and your mental well being, those things are fragile. They matter very deeply. But when they're neglected long enough, the damage that's done to them can become really hard to undo. And then there are rubber balls, things that feel important or urgent, but if they are dropped, they will bounce back up, right? So maybe you let go of them for a hot second, but they will bounce. They won't become as easily damaged as a glass ball. These are things like waiting to respond to an email that you think is important or that somebody else thinks is really important or urgent, and you decide to wait until you can give it your full attention to respond. Or maybe it's that the load of laundry that's sitting in a basket next to your bed that you've not folded in 4 days. It may feel important, it may feel urgent. However, it's not going anywhere. If you drop that ball, it's not literally going to affect anything. Or a task, a simple task that gets moved to tomorrow. And I don't know if my husband will listen to this one or not, but I remember one day I was like, well, what's on your agenda? Because I've got some things I'd like to do, but I want to ask you if there's, in my mind, some glass balls on your list that need to get done. And he's like, well, yeah, I got stuff I got to get done. I was like, okay, cool. Like what? He's like, well, I'd like to get the yard mowed. I'd like to clean up the shop a little bit. And I so badly wanted to make the facial expression of like, are you freaking kidding me? Like that does not trump the stuff that I want to get done. So I'm going to have to pull a trump card here and tell you like, those are rubber balls that can wait. The stuff I want to get done matters more. So I win for the day. But I just remember like thinking that it's like, you thought that was a priority, huh? Anyway, when your brain starts treating everything like it's going to shatter when you drop it, you're going to end up trying to carry like 55 glass balls at once. And guess what happens? One of those is going to drop. You don't know which one and you don't know when it will drop. And not only, hello, is that stressful as heck, that's not good. But I think it starts to get kind of messy here, especially in the agriculture industry, because so much of the work that we do is a glass ball. So many of the areas that we have are glass balls. And so it's like, I don't know what to do. And so here's my little twist on this analogy that I did not come up with. So don't give me credit for. But this part I am owning. What if we took one of those glass balls that is super important, but it's not as important as some of these other glass balls, and we just like rubber coated it, maybe even temporarily or seasonally, right? Like I want to be very realistic to the realities of our industry, especially during busy seasons, right? Like I think about planting and harvest season, for example. I love my friends. I love my family. I love my business. I love my community. Those are glass balls. However, I'm not going to spend as much time with my friends during planting season as I would during summer or winter. And so I think what I'm going to do is like put a rubber coating on that glass ball and communicate that with them, of just like making sure that they know in this season, I'm going to have to put you over in this other bucket because there are other priorities that have to get done because I know our livelihood depends on this. And so that's just kind of like this mindset shift that I've had to use to help me from feeling guilty for, putting some of those glass balls in the rubber bucket, right? The rubber ball bucket. Because listen, for many people, what we do is not just a job. Like we do take it personally. This is a legacy. These are our customers. This is our reputation. Our reputation is on the line. Sometimes work does become a glass ball, right? And so I think it's okay to not have just a glass ball or just a rubber ball. Like what if we rubber coated some of those glass balls seasonally? I think that not everything has to stay in the same category forever, depending on the season, depending on, the season of life you're in, depending on the season of your business that you're in. I think everything I think that if everything is equally important all the time or equally urgent all the time, eventually nothing is important because it diminishes its value, it diminishes its quality, and those balls are just going to start breaking in the background and you're going to not even realize it. And I think eventually you're going to wake up one day realizing that you've spent so much time trying to keep every single ball in the air that you forgot which ones were which. And honestly, I think when you have awareness around that, it's going to change so much. I don't think it's going to magically open up time in your calendar, but I think it will help you from feeling that stress and that weight of trying to do all the things all the time. I think just slowing down long enough to ask yourself, like, which one of these matters most right now? What's truly fragile in this season? What can bounce if I let it? Right? Because not everything does deserve equal access to your time and your energy and your attention and your nervous system all the time. I think a lot of burnout starts when people lose the ability to distinguish between what's truly important and what's simply just noise. So if you've been feeling overwhelmed lately, if everything feels important and everything feels like a priority, if your brain feels like it just can't shut off and you can't get ahead, maybe the answer is not around productivity or time management. Maybe it's not about being more organized or trying to fit everything in equally. Maybe the answer is slowing down long enough to get clarity on which one of these is glass, what's rubber, what doesn't need to be in my buckets at all. So take some time to just get a little bit of clarity around what the glass balls are, what the rubber balls are, if we need to rubber coat some of these balls for now, and making sure that they're in the right bucket in this season of your life. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you for being here, and I will see you in the next episode. Thanks for being here today. If this episode resonated with you, make sure that you're following the AgriMinds podcast so you don't miss what's coming next. And if someone came to mind while you were listening, send this their way. These are the conversations that more people in agriculture need to hear. Talk to you next time.